What's up, guys? This is long overdue, but let's talk about the First Purge coming to Halloween Horror Nights 2018. My initial thoughts about the Halloween Horror Nights First Purge announcement for 2018, I thought that the Purge was going to return to Halloween Horror Nights, but as the IP scare zone that John Murdy had announced. John Murdy announced that I think there was going to be one IP scare zone, and then the rest were going to be original concept ideas. And that made me not as excited to see the IP scare zone, because I almost assumed that it was going to be the First Purge. And it could still very well be. You could have the First Purge scare zone and the First Purge maze. It wouldn't be unheard of to have two properties take up different parts of the event. So that could still happen, but as far as that, I'm surprised that this is not the big scare zone announcement that they made, but rather a maze announcement. And especially after this dry spell of announcements that we've had, several weeks, I don't know if it was about 2 months or something, where we didn't have any announcements whatsoever, and we were just sitting and waiting, and then you dropped this bomb on us. For those of us who have been going to the event for quite some time, you can almost taste the dissatisfaction. You can almost touch it. It's in the air. But it is what it is. I definitely think that there is some good material as well as the bad, and we'll get into that. So the good material that they can use, obviously they're going to have contact lenses, and I think that's going to be one of the main focal points of this maze, is the fact that it's going to be a black light maze. So they have the color contacts that are only brought to glow under black light, and I think that it's a very clever way of doing it. I don't think there's any other way you could do it aside from having I don't know if they have LED contacts, but I think that would be a lot more expensive and a lot less effective. I think it's definitely going to be a black light maze. As far as the character design, there was a lot of really cool characters in the film, but only used to a minute extent. So what I mean to say is, especially if you watch my the First Purge movie review, I was talking about how some of the really cool characters used in the main advertising, like this horned dude. Sorry, I'm on my Xbox. This horned dude here. I mean, I was really looking forward to seeing that dude in the movie, but he was only used for probably about 5 seconds. And he wasn't a purger. I mean, technically everyone who was out during the purge is a purger, but he wasn't participating. They were having a big block party, and he was one of the participants there. So that's what he's doing over there. He's dancing. So there are a lot of really cool LED things and blacklight things that they can do with this maze, and I think that that's what it's going to be. But as far as the prominent characters, there just aren't enough of them. And what I mean to say is, the movie had a plethora of characters, but 3/4 of the movie was taken up by the main antagonists' hate groups. So there you have a potential backlash. I agree with Thomas from TLEV that if you did use the hate groups, you would. It's not a very classy move. It's actually quite distasteful, and it would cause a lot of backlash, not only for Mr. Murdy, but the event as a whole. So yeah, because when I watched their First Purge movie review, this is the League of Extraordinary Vloggers, TLEV, I was thinking, oh, maybe there's only 1 or 2 scenes with white supremacists or hate groups doing what they do, and that sort of tends to make its way into the Purge a lot. But I did not expect the movie to be that saturated with hate violence and hate groups. It was actually really surprising, and because even though the Purge has typically been an on-the-head kind of thing, it definitely had a lot more subtlety than this film. So like, you take the subtlety of the Purge, not so subtle, and then you take the subtlety of the First Purge, You're already at a low subtlety. You brought it even lower. And this thing is right on the right on the head. Politics. So that could cause a lot of potential issues for the maze. So what I think is going to happen is I think that John Murray's going to have to work around that. If he implies things, I see how that could work because things have been implied before. But if you straight up place those or represent those particular groups or particular people in the maze, I think that's going to cause a lot of problems for the event and Mr. Murdy. So back to finding out what characters you can use. I mean, there's Skeletor, there's that horned dude at the party, there's the what do you call it? The LED block party, the blacklight block party. Maybe there's the SWAT guys. I mean, I know that they were also part of those groups, but they didn't have, a lot of them didn't have distinguishing markings, so I guess you could use those. But it's all really up in the air as to how he's going to do it. I know that Mr. Murdy is a very, very smart creator, and he's very intelligent in the way he moves around things. And so I have no doubt in my mind that he will do the maze justice and definitely not taint the property in any way for the event. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's all I can say about the First Purge being a maze. After seeing the film, I'm a little more excited to see it because of the sort of creative elements of the film and how I think John Murdy's going to do it. I really do think that he'll do a good job, but I mean, my excitement is, I'm excited, but it's relatively moderate. And as far as the other announcements that were made earlier in the year, super excited. I mean, I would attend Halloween Horror Nights just to see those mazes. I mean, you get Trick or Treat, and a lot of people have been waiting for that maze for over a decade since the movie came out. So this is one of those all-time, most coveted properties for Halloween Horror Nights. Hollywood, at least, because Orlando got it as a scare zone last year, so it might feel a little bit repetitive. But as far as Hollywood, we're stoked here in California, dude. So, and I think that there's so much material in that movie that you could use. What I am most looking forward to, oh, by the way, if you haven't gone to see Trick or Treat yet, what are you doing? If you haven't seen Stranger Things yet, what are you doing? It's not that long. Stranger Things will only take up probably a day of your time at most. I mean, it's 8 hours for season 1, another 8 hours, 10 hours for season 2. But considering that this maze is only based off of season 1, you're good with season 1. Binge watch it, get it done, and Trick or Treat, obviously go see it. It's easy to get a hold of. It's not that expensive. It's been out for a long time already, but it is one of those quintessential Halloween classics. And I'm really glad that it's coming to the event this year, as well as Stranger Things. And I almost saw it coming. Stranger Things. How could John Murdy not do Stranger Things? I mean, it's Stranger Things. It's 80s nostalgia wrapped up with 80s horror. I mean, it's just the show itself is so well made, and I agree with John Murdy when he was talking about how it was one of the greatest things that he's seen on television in a long time. I agree. It is so well made, so well done. Their execution of that really nostalgic feel that the 80s has for a lot of people. I myself am not an 80s baby. I'm a 90s kid, and I can't say that I can relate to a lot of the things in Stranger Things, but I can definitely relate to that childhood feel where electronics, technology was not the focal point of the world. And of the youth specifically. You could go outside and play. You could ride your bikes with friends, and watch your favorite shows, play board games. It has so much feel-good stuff in it, while also adding the beautiful horror elements as well. Sort of science fiction-y, dark world kind of horror elements. And one of my main concerns for that maze is that we're not going to get enough scares. And I definitely, not by any means do I think the Stranger Things maze is going to be based on scares, but I definitely do want to get scared when I go through. Like The Shining. The Shining last year was a beautifully done, well-balanced maze. Most of the scares came from Jack Torrance, which I was expecting. And then you sort of see cameos from other characters as well, like the Dogman and stuff, and the Butlers, and but that's how I think that they're going to do the Stranger Things. And with the addition of Stranger Things being in a soundstage, you have so much potential for this maze, which is why I think this maze is going to be more ambiance-based rather than scare-based, because you have the Demogorgon in season 1. That's about it. I guess you could use the hazmat suit people who are going around. Those could scare you. It's really, I mean, if you have that, I think it's gonna be executed well, especially in the Upside Down, and in a soundstage, the Upside Down is perfect. They get to build grand things in there. They get to mess with temperature. They get to mess with weather. They get to mess with a lot of different things that can make the Upside Down a really, really cool experience at HHN 28. So I don't know if I finished talking about Trick or Treat, but Trick or Treat has so much potential. So much potential. You have so many different stories to choose from. All of them, I'm sure, are going to be represented in the maze. And what I'm looking most forward to is a particular scene with the werewolves. And the werewolves are feasting away and being the wolf-like beasts that they are, baying at the moon, howling. And I think that that's going to be really cool. I hope that we get to see a forested scene. I also hope that we get to see the bus. Maybe not, but I hope we get taken to maybe the cliffside with the cage. At least seeing the scenes, maybe not fully immersed there, because there's only so much you can fit inside of a maze, especially since it's one of those major. It's not inside of a soundstage, so you can't build really big sets. But I really do hope we get to see, the bus with the kids. That'll be really cool, and I hope we get to see a forested area with the werewolves. And of course, getting to see Sam in person is going to be amazing. He's one of my favorite all-time characters, Halloween characters, horror characters in all of horror. He's just so beautifully designed. He perfectly encompasses the feel of Halloween, and also the childlike innocence of Halloween, but mixing that with adult themes and really bringing that together. So overall, really excited. I will talk about the Scare Zone announcements, since I expect that we're going to be getting some more Scare Zone announcements here really soon, likely at Midsummer Scream. But I will talk more about those in a separate video. These were just my ideas on the First Purge maze announcement, and of course the other mazes that have been announced so far. So far we have 3. Wow, and we're a month, just over a month from the event starting. So he's going to have to start, pushing out those announcements pretty quickly. Super excited to find out what the Terror Tram's going to be. Personally, I think it's going to be an Alice in Wonderland Terror Tram. I guessed this way back. I think it was a couple months ago, maybe a month and a half, I don't know. But John Moretti was, when he first started talking to himself with the Halloween Horror Nights, account, he started bringing up his writing desk, and I was like, a writing desk. That sort of sounds something like Alice in Wonderland, because when you think about, why is a raven like a writing desk? Pair that with the fact that his writing desk is Victorian era. Alice in Wonderland is sort of Victorian era. So I think, and if considering that that's his personal desk for personal use, I think he wants to sort of put himself in the mind of Lewis Carroll. That's my thought. he wants to get that feeling as he writes this, and he says that he's writing the Terror Tram in verses. I mean, unless the Raven like a writing desk means, or like the Raven from Edgar Allan Poe, so he might do an Edgar Allan Poe Terror Tram. But then again, I don't see what kind of material you could use for that. I really think that you could turn the lot back there with the Terror Tram into a cool Alice in Wonderland feel, perhaps weaving through Whoville as sort of a whimsical thing, or, you know, it all depends on where he puts it. I definitely think that he's going to need a lot of really cool decorations, a lot of really cool costumes, which he never fails to pull off anyway. So I think that's my main thought on what I think the Terror Tram is going to be. And he said that I think he's going to be announcing the Terror Tram in August, so we won't get a Terror Tram announcement at Midsummer Scream. Hopefully we do, but I think what he's going to announce at Midsummer Scream are more scary zones and potentially a maze. So that's my thought on the Terror Tram. Hopefully it comes to fruition, because I really want to see a twisted Alice in Wonderland scary zone, especially from the mind of someone who admires the author that much. You know, John Murdy says that his two main inspirations, you know, were like the classic monsters, particularly Frankenstein, and then you have Lewis Carroll, Alice in Wonderland, and he has a lot of memorabilia. If you're following his tweets, he's got a lot of memorabilia on there. So I definitely, I'm probably like a 70% leaning towards an Alice in Wonderland, twisted Alice in Wonderland Terror Tram. So that's all I got for you today. That's all I have for you for this vlog. I mean, I might be filming more stuff. I'm in LA right now, which explains the different sort of backgrounds. I'm always in kind of different backgrounds, but once I get my permanent room set up, and then I want to have really cool posters and really cool things to just sort of really get that horror vibe going. Some of my favorite properties, Halloween, which I hope comes to the event. I hope it wasn't replaced by the First Purge, but Halloween, you know, The Thing, Trick or Treat, so many cool things. Classic monsters, The Invisible Man. So yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about, in the coming weeks. And stay tuned for the Proctor Valley Road vlog, which is going to be coming after the Midsummer Scream vlog. Stay tuned for that, the Midsummer Scream vlog, where we're going to be covering the HHN panel, the Hocus Pocus panel, hopefully, because I know there's going to be tons of people there for that. And we're going to be hopefully meeting Kimberly J. Brown and Elvira. If you don't know who Kimberly J. Brown is, she was Marnie from Halloween Town. So hopefully meeting them, getting their autographs. I ordered some posters, so we'll get some good footage. I'm going to be cosplaying at Midsummer Scream, and so will my family. And as for the Proctor Valley Road vlog, Proctor Valley Road, one of the most haunted roads in the nation, just 15 minutes from where I live. We're going to be heading there at night. And that day, before that vlog, we're going to be going to Old Town San Diego and visiting some of the more historical haunted areas there. And there, hopefully you'll get to meet Abdul and John Cruz, two other cast members on Night Freak Asylum. And hopefully you'll meet Nathaniel. Hopefully he'll upload some reviews, some vlogs, some speculation on movies. Anything really. It's sort of a free slate. This channel is sort of a free slate for all four of us creators to just platform our love for the genre, our art, our interests, and all things horror and spooky. So stay tuned for all those. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. We are a starting channel, as I've said in other videos. We really could use the support. We really want to be successful on YouTube, and we really want to be able to get better quality editing systems, better quality videos, and we can't do that without your support. So please support us in any way that you can, and we appreciate every bit of it. And we just want to go on delivering you quality content on the subject of all things horror and macabre, and events and things like that. So thank you so much. This has been James Young with your First Purge thoughts on the maze announcement for Halloween Horror Nights 2018. My thoughts on the other mazes, and a couple of the other things that we're going to be doing throughout the coming weeks and months. So stay tuned for those. Thank you so much.